Hi, Larry Elder here. This is the Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times. This show is about President Donald Trump's racism, or I should say, alleged racism. Mayor Pete Buttigieg was asked whether President Trump is a racist.
If you do racist things and say racist things, the question of whether that makes you a racist is almost academic.
Mayor Pete said, hey, if you say racist things and do racist things, whether or not you are a racist is academic. And Exhibit A for President Trump's alleged racism, you know, what he said in Charlottesville. Here is a sampling of what Democrats are saying he said in Charlottesville.
Because here's the deal. Charlottesville. I never, ever thought coming out of getting involved in the first instance because of civil rights and civil liberties, I never thought I'd see people coming out of fields carrying torches, literally carrying torches, chanting the same anti-Semitic bile that was chanted at the time that Hitler was taking over Germany in the 30s. Not a joke, same bile.
Oh, please. Trump was specifically talking about the debate over whether or not Confederate monuments should be displayed in the public square. There were people protesting the removal of Robert E. Lee's statue. There were people there demanding that the statue remain. That's what Trump was talking about. And if there's any doubt, he specifically said, and I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists because they should be condemned totally.
And I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis and the white nationalists because they should be condemned totally.
And in case there was any doubt, on the 2-year anniversary of the tragedy of Charlottesville, President Trump once again explained exactly what he was talking about.
Oh, I've answered that question, and if you look at what I said, you will see that that question was answered perfectly. And I was talking about people that went because they felt very strongly about the monument to Robert E. Lee, a great general, whether you like it or not. He was one of the great generals. I've spoken to many generals here, right at the White House, and many people thought of the generals. They think that he was maybe their favorite general. People were there protesting the taking down of the monument of Robert E. Lee. Everybody knows that.
Meanwhile, the Democrats, so concerned about racism, lined up to kiss the ring of Al Sharpton. You know, Al Sharpton.
No justice! No justice! No peace!
Mr. No Justice, No Peace. He says he came out of the King movement. Was MLK in the streets demanding no justice, no peace?
I would love to use love, but if I've got to use hate, I'll deal with what my hand calls for.
This is a man who made his bones by falsely accusing a white man of raping Tawana Brawley, a white man named Stephen Pagonis, who lost his job, lost his marriage, and his daughter received death threats as a result of being falsely accused of raping a black teenager. The whole thing was fraudulent. New York grand jury conducted an investigation and found out the whole thing was fraudulent. And Al Sharpton even said to the man he accused of rape, if you think I've lied, sue me, sue me. The guy did. Sharpton was found unanimously liable for defamation. He and his 2 co-defendants were assessed a $250,000 fine. Sharpton did not pay for several years, not until his rich buddies passed the hat and paid off the debt. And the only reason he paid off the debt is because Al Sharpton was running for president and he knew it would be a liability. The past this man has gotten from the media is mind-blowing. Can you imagine if Donald Trump had said or done one fraction of the things Al Sharpton did? The man wouldn't be able to leave his house, let alone run for president. It took somebody like Jesse Matera, conservative pundit, radio host, and talk show host, to confront Al Sharpton about some of the things he's done.
Hey, Reverend Sharpton. How you doing? In the spirit of Donald Sterling, you think you should be banned from TV for all the racist stuff you said over the years?
What racist stuff?
White folks was in the cave when we had built empires. We taught philosophy and astrology and mathematics before Socrates and them Greek homos ever got around. Yes. You want to be the only nigga on television, the only nigga in the newspaper, the only nigga can talk.
You know, when you referred to Jews as white interlopers.
Never referred to Jews as white interlopers.
When you dropped the N-word on David Dinkins.
No. If you're going to say something, you ought to be correct. We had exactly what Don Sterling said. When did I call Jews not white interlopers?
Freddie's Mark.
Store owner.
Yep, that's right. You called him a white interloper. But no, doesn't it take? But wait, doesn't it take like some serious on your end to accuse somebody of racism?
If Trump is a racist, he ain't a very good one. This is a man who wants to do something about the problem of illegal immigration, particularly unskilled illegal immigration that threatens jobs and puts downward pressure on the wages of unskilled black and brown people living in the inner city, the very people that the Democrats claim they care about. Check out what an economist named George Borjas said about the impact of illegal immigration. Both low and high skilled natives are affected by the influx of immigrants. But because a disproportionate percentage of immigrants have few skills, it is low-skilled American workers, including many blacks and Hispanics, who have suffered most from this wage dip. The monetary loss is sizable. The typical high school dropout earns about $25,000 annually. According to census data, immigrants admitted in the past 2 decades lacking a high school diploma have increased the size of the low-skilled workforce by roughly 25%. As a result, the earnings of this particularly vulnerable group drop by between $800 and $1,500 each year. End of quote. And Trump has very specifically talked about the impact of illegal immigration on unskilled workers.
Democrats don't care about the impact of uncontrolled migration on your communities, your schools, your hospitals, your jobs, or your safety.
Now let's talk about how blacks have fared under the economy of President Donald Trump versus how blacks fared under the economy of Barack Obama. Barack Obama delivered the worst economic recovery since 1949, the first president to preside over a recovery without at least 3% GDP growth. Last year, under President Trump, we had 3% GDP growth, and this quarter, 3.2% GDP growth. And if you don't believe how badly blacks performed under Obama, check out what Tavis Smiley said. Hard left Tavis Smiley, formerly of the NPR and PBS. Yeah, that Tavis Smiley. Here's what he said.
We found that over the last 10 years, black people have lost ground in every major economic category. In every major category, black folk have lost ground. Now, clearly, one cannot lay that exclusively at the feet of Mr. Obama. There was a headwind of obstructionism. That's true. But his most loyal constituency didn't gain any ground over the last 10 years, and that saddens me in a way that I can't even describe.
I want to end with this. How often have you heard Trump haters say Trump is signaling a dog whistle to his supporters, that they can be racist, it's now okay to be racist? However, there's a pundit who cannot stand Donald Trump over on MSNBC. I call it MSNB hee-haw. His name is Chris Matthews. In an unguarded moment, he made quite an admission. Listen to this.
Mainly it's for white people, because white people won't vote for a guy, most of them, if they think they're racist.
So there you have it. One of the biggest Trump haters on television admitting that it would not be in his best interest for him to be perceived as being a racist. Therefore, why would it be in his best interest to send a dog whistle to his racist supporters? It's all a lie designed to win the election in 2020. Hey, whatever it takes. The race card. Do not leave home without it. I'm Larry Elder, and this has been the Larry Elder Show for Epoch Times. See you next time.